to my channel. Today I am super excited to be here and doing something super fun for this Makeup Monday. By the time that this video actually goes live, I will be back at college, so obviously I pre-filmed a bunch of these with better lighting and camera quality so you guys can see my beautiful face being made into makeup. So today I figured we've done a couple Makeup Mondays where it's like book looks and how to make your face kind of look like a book cover, and so today I am going to be doing something a little different. It's going to be the makeup book tag. This went around a lot last year. I don't know who started the tag. If you know, please let me know down in the comments. But the first makeup book tags that I saw were Ariel Bassette's and Reagan at Peruse projects, so I will link them down below because that's where I learned it from. So basically, if you don't know what the makeup book tag is, basically there is like a list of the things that you use in makeup to make your face kind of happen. For each piece of makeup, you pick a book to correspond with some attribute of literature. So we're just gonna do this. Obviously, I am bare face right now. As always, there's the disclaimer that I am not a makeup artist or a beauty guru, and I don't make any claims to be. I just like makeup, and this is what I do with my face in my free time. If you do something different, you're not doing it wrong. If I do something different than you, I'm not doing anything wrong. So makeup has no rules, just have fun with it. So without further ado, let's get into this makeup book tag. So the first thing on the list for the makeup book tag is primer. So I use two kind of primer things that aren't specifically primer. We've talked about this before. I use the Mario Badescu Rose Water Spray. So yeah, that's the first step in priming. And then I also use the NYX Honey Dew Me Up. We've talked about this before, which is just like a priming serum. So honey is a natural antiseptic, so it kind of clears out your skin. There's collagen in it for smoother skin and gold flakes for radiance, if we want to be radiant. So dab a little of this. Priming things, I usually just use my hands, you know? Girls doesn't got time for brushes. Primed and dangerous. So for the book tag, the book that you're supposed to pick for primer is a book that leaves a lasting impression. And this came out last October. This is Maggie Stiefvater's All the Crooked Saints. Just a forewarning, I'm going to talk a lot about Maggie Stiefvater today. But this book came out, and when I read it over the summer in 2017, I could not stop thinking about this book. Later on in the year, in one of my classes at school, I had to talk about kind of the monster within ourselves and what your monster would be in your life, and it is this, and it was basically like my darkness manifest. Like, I don't know what my darkness would be, but I think I'd be very terrified to find out and kind of accept those bad parts of myself. And so I think about this a lot. Like, if I were to go to the Soria family for a blessing, what would my darkness manifest itself as, and what would I have to do? And that makes me think a lot. Neat. Good book. So next we have foundation. Foundation. Did I grab my phone? I did. So foundation, I am using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Stick Foundation in the shade Warm Natural. I'm going to do my weird thing where I only put foundation really on the bottom half of my face because done with that guy. So then I'm going to take the Creme Shop, what even is that brand, who knows, and this flat brush. Again, this is kind of different than my normal way of doing makeup because I don't do my makeup in this order. I do my eyeshadow first and then go to my face, but for the sake of the tag, I will just do as the tag says. We are founded. So for the makeup book tag, the book you were supposed to pick for foundation is an impressive first book. The first book that I have is The Winner's Curse, sorry, by Marie Rutkowski. I read this book for book club last year. I actually picked it because I have been wanting to read this book forever and a half, and I was just like completely enthralled. I really want to read this because I never finished this series, so I don't really know what happens with Kestrel and Aaron, but I really was like intrigued by the political intrigue. I was really, really fascinated by the dynamic, the twists and turns, the kind of plot twist that you don't see coming, and so I really, really liked The Winner's Curse. So this is my first impressive book. Now we're gonna go for concealer. And this is a fun one. I don't often conceal. But when I do, I don't conceal, I think partly because the concealer that I have is basically the same shade as my foundation, if not a little bit darker. So, like, what am I doing with my life? Who knows? Because, like, usually when I conceal and, like, put on some concealer, it's to, like, create a highlight and start the contour. And my concealer is, like, a little bit lighter, but I'm going to look super orange today, and we're all just going to accept it. Oh, I forgot to say I am using the Kat Von D Lock-It Concealer in shade I don't know because the sticker fell off. So yeah, that's concealer. So for concealer, you were supposed to pick a book character that you would get rid of. A little something different, Sandy Hall. I would get rid of the squirrel. Goodbye. Okay, so now powder, because you gotta set your powder so your face stays really like mattified and gorgeous. I don't like doing this step right now because because then I gotta sit like this for a little while. Okay, so I just take this concealer. This is the NYX HD Finishing Powder in white and translucent, actually, if you want it to be correct, and the parts of my face that get pretty oily. And this is an impressive last book that I liked. So this isn't the last book in the series. I'm not that far in the series, but this is the last, like, a series where the last book that I read I really enjoyed. So I'm gonna go with Heir of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. If you thought we were getting through this video without a Sarah J. Maas, you are sorely mistaken. I really, really enjoyed Heir of Fire. I thought that, like, it was a really good character development for Aelin. I don't know if you can take me seriously with this powder on my face, but I really, really enjoyed it, and I loved kind of watching her grow and come to terms with her grief and her mourning and still be, like, really strong and do what she needs to do as the Queen of Terrasen. And as you can see by my little flags here, there was barely a page not touched in the last half of the book that I did not love. This one wasn't in the makeup book tag, but I'm going to make it, and that is going to be the contour. So I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit, the Powder Contour Kit in light medium. So I'm going to take some of this warm shade and just contour my cheeks, give my face a bit more of a shade. We're doing really warm makeup today. Yep. Yep. And highlighter we will get into a bit later. So for the contour, like, criteria that I'm going to just make up right now, I'm going to do a book that changed the way you look at literature. And I could only think of Charmed by Sarah Pinborough. So this is one. Ooh, I forgot that I have these library cards. So what it is it is a series of 3 books. This is one of them, the one that I loved the most. And it is 3 books that are twisted tellings of the fairy tales, but they are all entwined together. And what I've heard is that if you read the 3 books in different orders, you'll get different storytellings. So I read this one first, followed by Poison, which was Snow White, and Beauty, which was Sleeping Beauty. And they were so well done. They're an adult fantasy collection, and I am really excited to reread them in 2018 in a different order and see if I get a different story. So this changed the way I looked at literature and how series and books in a series can interact with each other and tell a story. So now we're gonna go into eyebrows. For eyebrows, I am using the eyeliner, nope, the Eyelure brow pencil in number 10, dark brown. So I just take this pencil, start under here and go, oh wow, that's a brow. Well, we're gonna fix it. Yep, that happened. What did I do? I don't even know what I did. Okay. For brows, oh my god, the like theme idea is a book that you think everyone should read, and for that we have another Maggie Stiefvater book. Wow, this eyebrow is so intense. Okay, and it is The Raven Boys, the first in the Raven cycle. This book series kind of just like another one that changed the way I looked at literature and magical realism. It's the first book I read in magical realism, and I didn't even know what magical realism was a thing until this year when I took a class that included magical realism. But I just appreciated it so much more, and it sets up a really like wonderful Welsh legend and Welsh lore in a modern setting, and combines it with a really lovely cast of characters, and it's such a good adventure, and I think everyone should read this book, especially because Maggie's such a tremendous writer and writes so lyrically and poetically and wonderfully. So definitely go pick up Raven Boys. I recommend it to absolutely everyone. So now we're into the eyeshadow, which is the fun part of any eye look, if we're being honest. So I'm going to be using my new ColourPop Kathleen Lights Dream Street palette. I have not actually like created a look with this, but I'm excited because you're gonna see why. So I'm just gonna take this nude color here, and this is just like everyday, so you know, so just kind of blend some nudie in there. I have my transition shade kind of settled down, and I usually would take like a little copper here and just dab it along the outside, blend her in a little bit. Outer corner, not like so much of a smoke, it's just like a blend, you know? Except this is like my nude is a bit darker than my orange. Nothing too crazy. And then I usually like to highlight the center of my lid to create a little bit of a contrast. So I don't like know what I'm feeling. Maybe I'll just go in with this like gold one. This is, I forgot that these are named. So this is Spark. And glitters either a wet packer brush or ye old fingertips, you know. So I used Twinkle. Wait, no. Did I? Yeah, I used Twinkle. Twinkle, Water Bearer, which is the copper shade, and then Spark, the gold glittery shade. And that's shadow. So that's done. For shadow, the kind of challenge in the book tag is to find a book with your favorite colors on it. So I kind of changed this. These are some of my favorite colors, but mainly this is my favorite cover because it's so beautiful. And that is Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. I think that this is so gorgeous. This is actually why I bought this book, because I took one look at this cover and I was like, this is beautiful and I need this. So I love the transition from the turquoises to light turquoise. I really like this like contrasting stripe of white. The bottle I think is really beautiful, mirrored onto a ship with the New York skyline. I thought that was super gorgeous. This font is beautiful. But the reason why I kind of like freaked out at the beginning of the eyeshadow is that because this has a lot of turquoise in it, this new palette that I'm really excited about also has turquoise. This is kind of, but this palette has a lot of the shades that are in there looking at you, Kaleidoscope and Potion and Mermaid Boy, that kind of all fit with this cover, which is beautiful. I like that a lot. So that was shadow. So now we're going to do eyeliner. I use 3 different eyeliners pretty regularly. So my upper waterline is always going to be a like green or black. So this is the It Cosmetics No Tug Waterproof Anti-Aging Gel Liner in Lucky Jade. That's going right up here. And then usually during the week I don't look alive because I sleep very little and I'm dead on the inside. So I use a nude eyeliner on my bottom waterline to really brighten my eyes and make them look a bit bigger. So this is the ColourPop Cream Gel Eyeliner in Honey Dude, which is a really nice nude. Oh my god. Oh my god. Cool. So just take this and just pencil in the waterline or eyeliner. I've been using the Too Faced I Want Candy Collection Candy Liner in Black Licorice. I don't love this eyeliner, I really don't. I prefer their sketch marker because I just find this brush not to be very user-friendly, but I've been having some luck lately, so we are going to give it our best shot. Okay. So I usually go like from halfway on my lid down, and then that's actually not bad. And then over. I can work with this. So those are my eyeliners. It's a B+ eyeliner day. In my defense, I have not finished my coffee. So for eyeliner, you're supposed to do a dark and mysterious book, and this is kind of perfect because this was my first makeup tutorial look, and that was The Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. Oh god, The Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. What book? And it is dark and mysterious and creepy, and it's the first book in the Grisha series. And it is very, very mysterious. You don't know what's happening. There's a character named the Darkling, a lot of dark magic, mysterious creatures. You don't know who you can trust and who you can't. A lot of twists and turns, and I really, really enjoyed this. Next we have mascara, and I am going to be using... I use 2. I switch between 2. But today I'm going to be using the Tarteist Lash Paint. This came out recently, and I really like it. It's got a nice wand, but it's got like a spikier wand, so my lashes really like separate and lengthen. Okay, that's mascara. For mascara, you're supposed to pick a long book, and I was looking at it, and I'm surprised that like a lot of my books aren't that long that I have in my collection. So I was like, what is a long book that I really enjoyed? And you know, this was going to end up on my like list because this is kind of a bunch of your favorite books or my favorite books made into a makeup book tag. And that is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. This is not the longest book in the series, but it is one of my favorites. This one's my favorite because it's definitely the last book where magic is really the focus, and kind of the wonders and imagination of magic kind of takes precedence over the darker themes and the challenges and struggles with the Dark Lord. And it is decently long. I mean, it's definitely not a quick read. It is 734 pages long, and I think it's just one of my favorites. I have not reread this book in a very long time, but it is my goal to reread all of them this year, and I really am excited for The Goblet of Fire. I also have the illustrated ebook on my iPad, which I'm super excited to dive into as well. Contour brush, a little bit of pigment. You can't even really like tell with my foundational practices. And that is my blush look. And so for the blush challenge, you are supposed to come up with a romantic moment. This book, hi Maggie Seabotter, we're back. This book was very excuse me. very romance oriented, and a lot of people didn't love it, but I am trash for this series. And it is filled with romance, but also fantasy, which is kind of my thing. So it is Maggie Stiefvater's Shiver series, specifically the first book, because there is just so much love between Grace and Sam. This is before my flagging got out of hand, but I thought this book was so cute, and I love it. And this series was actually the first ever YA series that I read, so it's very, very important to me and very, very special. And so when I reread it last year, I was like, I am living for this romance. It's a little bit like, it's a little weird, I'm not gonna lie. Like, Sam is not overly romantic, but Grace is kind of like this shy girl, and then she gets into a romance with a shy boy, and it's just lovely, and I really, really enjoyed this romance in this series. Next, we've got highlighter. Oh, and for highlighter today, I will be using the Becca highlighter. This is the little mini sampler one that they give you in the shade Opal. It is like a nice, like, champagne-y kind of color. And I'm going to be taking my Morphe R12, which is just a fan brush, and dabbing her in there. Dab a dab. Tap off the excess, right onto this part of my cheeks. It's not coming out super blinding. I think everything's just, like, too orange in this look. But yeah, it's a nice little, like, subtle, shimmery glow. Good attention. And the Cupid's bow, and that is my highlight. And for highlighter, you're supposed to find a book that brightened your day. This was another book club book I had to read for work, and it was one of my favorite book club books that I've actually ever read. We read it right before Maggie came to the store, and I'm sorry I'm talking about Maggie Stiefvater again, and I just really fell in love with this story. It's another, like, Gaelic Celtic legend turned into a story that is so fantastic, and I think everyone should read it. It's a standalone. Hopefully there will be a sequel. I keep asking Maggie if she's going to write one, and she will not give me an answer. It is set in a very odd time period. It's not super explicit. It's got really wonderful mythical creatures that I wish were real because I would want one. And that is Scorpio Races by Maggie Stiefvater. And this was a Michael Prince Award for Excellence in Young Adult winner. And this was so good. It's such a quick read, and it's a standalone, so, like, if you don't want to get sucked into the Raven Boys or the Shiver trilogy, definitely read Scorpio Races. It is such a good book. I read it so fast. I really want to read it again because I want to try and figure out what the time period is. She says that some people have guessed it right online, but she will refuse to come out and say when it takes place. But I really, really liked this one, and it just really brightened my day. It was a good, wholesome story to kind of dive into and get lost in the world, which always makes me super happy. So I loved this book. And so last we have lips, and this will be my end of my everyday look. This is the Jeffree Star Velour Liquid Lipstick. This is his collaboration with Manny MUA, and this is in the shade Daddy. It is such a good shade. It is kind of my perfect nude, and I use it almost daily. He gets a lot of love. But yeah. That was a good one. I find his liquid lips stay really well, but don't really stressfully dry out my lips, which is nice. So yeah, that is the end of my look. But for this book, this is a kiss that you really enjoyed. And you know, the last three of these, which was like the romantic moment that brightened your day and also had a really great kiss, could all have been like interchangeable between the last three books. But for sure, it is The Prince in Disguise, which I just recently read. My review will be linked down below. It was the first book I read of 2018, and the first kiss between Dylan and Jamie in the barn is so cute and lovely and magical. It takes place in a snowstorm, and that just needs to happen to me one day. Boys, hit me up. Let's make it happen. It was so good. It was just so sweet and perfect, and it was Dylan's first kiss, which made it even better, and I think it was just kind of wonderful and beautiful, and I for sure want it to happen again. And I need more Dylan and Jamie. Stephanie Kate Strom, please give me what everyone is asking for. Thank you. Goodbye. So yeah, this is it. The read to end this look. The perfect kiss in the barn in Scotland at winter time. So we're done. That is the makeup book tag. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had so much fun doing this. I actually had to watch like 4 and write down what the things were and then go back and find it. And though this look is a little bit more orange than my typical, I actually really like it. I actually succeeded in doing some eyeliner. I like this lip color. That palette that I just got to try, the Dream Street palette, was to die for. I loved it, and I really like this look, and this is my everyday makeup look if you were interested in what I do and what I look like at college. That's this. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe so you can see me do more silly things like this in the world of literature. If there are any books that you want me to turn their cover into a makeup look in a tutorial, please let me know. Don't forget to check me out on social media. I'm on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Pinterest, and Goodreads as RoyReadingCo. Please go be my friend on all of those things. I think that's about it. So we got a couple more makeup looks coming, a few more videos this week, and I will see you guys for the next one. Have a great day, guys. Bye.